All right. Okay, we are live. I don't even know how to do the intro anymore because it's been a while. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Crafty
So,
Mess. I know. I have a new host here, as you can tell. Light blonde Mel joining
yeah.
the blonde gang. It actually looks really, really good.
Well, see, the thing is, yesterday was much more ashy than today. I don't know what happened. Does my hair just revert back to um just having the brass tones like overnight or something? But yeah, I think I'm gonna tone it again tomorrow.
Well, we'll talk about this after the intro,
Yeah.
but yes, we're gonna play the little countdown, and then we'll
Okay.
chat about her hair. So we shall be right back because there was a
Yes.
lot that went into that hairdo there. All right, be right back.
I live in debt, I'll die indebted to your hold. Born again, I swear I wouldn't breathe a word. If you can find me, take me back and make me whole. We're a circus, ruin my body with your corpse. So can you help me
I know why my eyes are kind of burning. It's because I am not wearing my blue light glasses that I
Oh.
usually do when I'm in here. You know how like I have my really bright like light up here that keeps everything super
Uh-huh.
bright all the time? Well, the
Yeah.
problem with that is that it's too bright and then sometimes it hurts my eyes and so I have to wear like the blue light glasses and stuff. If
Oh,
I'm in here
okay.
for too long. Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't notice that. Yeah. I thought they were just your like, sexy nerdy glasses that you wear.
No. I wear them because no, because like when I stare at the computer screen too much, it starts hurting my eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but they're also my sexy nerdy glasses. It's
That's
a
what I'm
double
saying.
whammy.
They're
It's a double
sexy
whammy.
nerdy glasses. Here, so let me show you my like hair towards. Guess I'm like not facing the light more, so you can see a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, the tips are a little mushroomy. When you told me
Yeah.
that
So
mushroom blonde, I was like, wait, what is
yes,
mushroom blonde? No,
sort of like
the
a
tips.
yeah. It's a mushroom-esque color. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to use the same dye over time so that it'll lighten continuously. But I think this is probably the last time, and then I'll just keep toning. Yeah, it's a process.
Well, no, because like I see from like the bottom, it looks really
hmm
light, and then from here up, it's definitely a little bit more coppery. So if you're gonna tone it, I probably just do that little chunk right, like from like mid section down, and then just kind of leave the tips by itself.
Yeah. So
Um,
what I thought, and it's difficult because you can't see the color. Like if you're toning, you can't technically
no,
see where the
yeah.
brassy color is until it's dried. So, but you have to have wet hair or damp hair for toning, and that's like the difficult part. Whereas I think the next time, which I'll wait maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something for the next dye,
Mhm.
is that I can at least apply it to dry hair and I can see where I want like the brassy ones because I did notice that maybe my hair I have just too many strands that like it doesn't coat all of it, you know what I mean? So I have to use the whole tube to do so. But yeah, it's a process. This is fifth week of doing it and trying to keep it as healthy as possible without frying it.
Well, every time like I ask you, I'm like, so how? What's the solution used? How what's the ratio? And she's always like giving me like a smaller number, which is more conservative, and it's fine. But the
Yes.
problem is like she has hair like a lion, and she has a lot of it too. So it's just like you can't. You have to use more
I know,
product
right?
on your. Like she has so much. Mel has
I didn't
so much hair. She's the kind that would snap and break all of your elastics. Like if you let her borrow one.
No. Over time, my hair has gotten a little bit thinner, but it does take some time to actually coat individual strands. And like there are ones that are just not as like which is fine. I think I do like the multicolor aspect because I don't want it all one color.
Uh-huh.
So it'll just give some dynamic to it. But yeah,
Uh, it's I mean it's still really pretty. I like it.
yeah.
I got
We'll
a new
see.
Mel,
I know, right? New co-host.
a new co-host. Kick the other one
You're
to
gonna
the
have to tell
curb.
me what's going on.
Yeah. But I like it. It looks good. And I think maybe a little bit more toning, you'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see how that looks like tomorrow.
Actually, you
Maybe.
know what this reminds me? It's the okay. So I remember, like, you and I were in New York one time, and you introduced me to these Japanese bobby pins. Do you
Yes.
remember
Oh,
the
love
ones
them. I
that
still
are
use
like?
them.
Yeah, okay. And I love them so much because I also have like
Yeah.
thick hair too, and
Yes.
so and they like stay so well in,
They
and you
grip
wanted to
so
borrow.
well.
And yeah, and it's because you have thick hair and you need it to grip, and then you wanted to borrow one, and I was so hesitant.
You're
I was
like,
like, just I
"Babe,
bought one pack.
one."
Yeah, and how much did it like? It was like
It was like
50 in a pack or
$50.
something. I don't remember. And you're just like, hey,
Yeah.
can I borrow a bobby pin? I was just like, am I gonna get it back? Because these are very good bobby pins.
They are really good bobby pins, and to this day, I would have stash of them like throughout. So I always have them in my makeup bag, like just anywhere, and I need them because
Oh no, I just lost Mel's audio. Okay, I think you
Oh
guys can still hear
no!
her, but I don't know if I can still hear her. What just happened?
Really?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What happened?
I don't know. For some reason my Bluetooth just like switch off, and I'm wondering if it like connected to something else here.
Ah,
Okay, but what were you saying? Because I said, yeah, I wanted the one bobby pin back.
no, I know. I was just saying that I just use it still to this day, and they're
Mhm.
everywhere. Like I just keep them in my makeup bag, my personal bag, just because you never know when you need a bobby pin.
I actually might need to get some more because Grudy's hair is so lioness, and regular bobby pins
Really?
doesn't work with her. Yeah, she has
Yeah.
long, beautiful. Do you remember when you met me? Like my hair was all the way down to like my hips.
Yes,
She
yes.
definitely,
We did a tutorial, a hair tutorial when that happened.
yeah, she definitely has that hair. And it's like
Nice.
long and big, and she won't let me trim it or cut it or give her bangs. She actually saw me with bangs one day, and she's just like, I like your bangs. And I was like, oh, do you want some too? She's like, no, thank you. I don't like
She's
it. I was like,
she's
okay.
very blunt.
Yeah.
Hi, Katrina. It's been a while, man.
Good morning,
Hello,
Ashley. Good morning,
Ashley. Morning.
Katrina.
Oh, thank you. Still
Okay, you
a
get.
work in progress. It's not officially set yet, but yeah, we'll see.
All right. So we got a lot of. I guess why we were gone for so long, things just kept popping up. I was going through
Yes.
some personal stuff. Then I got
Yeah.
sick. Mel was traveling, and then something else happened. Oh, you were dog sitting or something.
I
forgot what
was
it
I was dog sitting. There was like a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't, yeah.
But Katrina's daughter also has like
Uh-huh.
beautiful hair.
Oh.
And it's like so she asked, what are these bobby pins y'all speak of? They're like a specific, it's a Japanese
hard to
brand, right?
explain. Yeah, I don't even know what the brand is, but we bought them at a Mitsuwa Japanese market. So if you ever are near a Mitsuwa, MITSUWA market, I know there's one in like the West and then one in Jersey. But yeah, they're just the best bobby pins ever because they have a super grippy where like it doesn't come out of your hair easily, so you have to like open it up a little bit and then pull out for me. But yeah, like I think it's the best one to really hold your hair in place.
Yeah, I honestly think it's just made of better metal because like the ones that you would buy normally, if you
like
open
flimsy.
it's flimsy. If you open it, it can stay open like a paper clip,
Yeah.
But the metal is so tough that like if you open it, it springs really closed. And I even think it has even more grooves too.
Yeah, possibly, but yeah, they're the best. They're the best.
They're
And
definitely
I can't take all the credit for it because I know I probably heard it from someone else on YouTube that talked about it, and then since then I was like, done. Maybe it was Foo's, Fuzz Kitty.
Oh.
Yeah, I think maybe I heard it from her because I know that she used to shop at Mitsuwa constantly, and I remember going on one of the trip with her. And she was very into Japanese products. But yeah, I think maybe it was from her.
Um, interesting.
Very good stuff.
Where's she at? Where's she at these days?
She's
I
just living
completely forgot.
life. She's living
It's
life away
it's
from
crazy.
YouTube.
Thinking
Yeah,
of
I
all
think
these old
she's
school YouTubers,
right.
like
She
crazy.
wait. I think she
Was she a
lives in
blogger?
Texas. Wait. Oh no. She lives in Atlanta. She lives in
Yeah, she's in the
Georgia.
South. I know that. Yeah, but I don't think
Yeah.
Texas because I know the other blogger was from Texas. But
Right.
okay, so what are we supposed to say? These are just our opinions, not facts. Check the facts if you need to.
And don't harass anybody, please, because we're just talking and just two ladies chit chatting and things like that. And
We
fortunately,
really-
I don't have my craft with me because I left it at my place. So I'm at my man friend's place. So we'll just have to chit chat.
Oh my goodness! Remember the little ornament that you made, the little gnomes that you made for? Okay, so we hung up our tree last week, and I was
Nice.
I'm so yes, nice, but I'm so annoyed because Branch has decided that one of the little gnomes is his baby now, and so he just like he'll take it off and he'll carry it, and I can't hang it too high on the tree because Homeboy will try to jump on it and get it.
No.
So then I'll hang it low, but then he'll grab it and he'll just like
He'll whack
he carries. Well, and his new thing is that anything that he really loves, he likes to throw in the toilet.
Oh no!
Yeah, and that's the reason why I don't want him carrying it because I don't want him to throw it in the toilet. So
yeah.
So he has a couple of like his favorite toys, and I think it's a cat thing where like they have a favorite toy, they will try to bury it or put it where they feel safe, and the toilet makes him feel safe. It's so weird. I don't know why, but he buries everything in the toilet. Yeah, he just throws it in there. So I'm keeping an eye on.
Does he ever fish them out?
Yeah, he'll fish them out and he'll bring it to us, which freaks me out. Exactly. I know.
Man.
So I think I'm just gonna have to take the gnome and not hang it up this year. Or but I'm like, it's so cute because I try to hang it up higher to keep it away from him. But I saw him legit like climb on the ledge and just fly across to get on the tree. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. So
you're gonna have to like reinforce, or like just correct his behavior, because for us, like if something we don't want to see, we do try to keep a water bottle nearby to spray, and then just like continue to do like those just like whatever positive behavior you will give him a treat, but like anything those would be the consequence, because like the cats, I mean Bo, he doesn't attack my plants anymore. He used to because they're just curious, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, but like after a while he hasn't really cared about them anymore. He's just like meh. So it's about everything. It's one of those where it's just like you just have to correct the behavior.
Yeah, I feel like I could be consistent about that kind of stuff. The problem is just that I can't do it around Rudy because then she'll be like, no, mommy, Branch likes it. Or, no, mommy, it scares Branch. And I'm like, I'll spray you if you don't get out of my way.
Right?
But no.
Or just like redirect the behavior, like redirect his, find something else to give him another toy that would be more fascinating.
I think the treat thing. I think I'll just get more treats because I know Branch is a very good boy when it comes to treats. Rocket doesn't care about them, but Rocket is also a good boy. So, so I'll probably do the treats thing with Branch and try that. Okay, so what are our topics for today? We have
the festival that we were going to talk about. We have Alec Baldwin that we wanted to talk about.
Adele.
Like there's a whole bunch too that like I know that was like we have mentioned, but I don't know how much we can cover. That's the thing.
Yeah, let's go as much as we can, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so Travis Scott, the festival thing. I posted something about this on Instagram where it's just like, how do we as parents figure out how we're gonna allow our kids to go to concerts and festivals, knowing that this is the kind of stuff that could potentially happen. And obviously a couple of years ago, the Vegas thing too. And it's like, I don't know. I'm so far away from that as far as parenting that I don't know how I would react. If Grudy came to me and asked like, "Oh, mommy, I want to go to this festival," I think I will probably want her to go just because I want her to experience it. I'll probably figure out a way to do it as safely as possible. But the thing is, so with the whole Travis Scott thing is, I have heard that Travis Scott's concerts tend to be a little bit more wild. Um, they tend to be a little bit more. I guess the crowd are a little bit more rambunctious, and so
what kind of music does he play?
I think he's rap hip hop.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
listen to him very much,
Me
but
neither.
it's also a different generation than I am too. So he's the one. He is Kylie Jenner's baby daddy. They're not married. Yeah, baby daddy. Yeah. So. Yeah, so basically, I know that there's a bunch of lawsuits going on right now because like there was like 8 deaths. To 8 now. I think the one that really upset me the most is that there's a 9-year-old that's currently in the coma, and
Why is a 9-year-old at a concert?
Right, and okay, so I've seen. So when I went to I went to a festival once, and this was like literally 4 years ago before I had Grudy, and I saw like, this mom who had a baby like strapped to her, and it's a festival, so I get it. You go from venue to venue and venue, so it's kind of like an outdoor theme park situation, but with I get it. It has kind of like that family vibe, but I also still think it's inappropriate to have children that young be there, even though the vibe is very how can I compare like the Houston rodeo here? That's what it's like too, where there's
but
like,
see, the thing is the Houston rodeo don't have mosh pits, and they don't ever like go into, I don't know, they don't go into like violent acts of anything.
yeah,
And like a
I mean,
family, like if you go to a carnival, or a fair, you're not gonna find those kind of things there. So those are considered family places. You should
yeah,
never bring a kid that young to a
right?
festival. Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Especially
like
when there could be drugs and alcohol present.
that's
No.
the thing. Yeah. And here's the thing. I am 100% dang sure that there's always going to be some kind of drug use at these festivals.
Yep.
It's a given. Like Molly is a big
Guaranteed.
thing. Like it's
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. It's a big thing. And I'm not going to pretend that doesn't happen. I'm not going to pretend that my kid might not partake or whatever. It's
Mhm.
just what it is, but it's like 9 is too young.
Yes.
Personally for me, and the whole like I couldn't watch a lot of the clips because it was just so heartbreaking to see people fall down and going, help me, and the person who's filming it going, someone help, she's on the ground, and it's just like you can hear the fear and everything, and I couldn't watch any of those clips, even though I was just like, okay,
I did not.
yeah, because I was like, well, I want to see like not want to see that, but I wanted to know exactly what happened, because there was like things saying that like someone got pricked in the neck with needles, like they're walking around like just pricking people. Like that was that was a rumor swirling around, but then like a cop, like an EMS or someone said that did happen to them. So there's a lot of information that might or might not be true going around, and I'm kind of confused because there's other people saying that like some of the kids had took too much drugs and had like a heart failure and then fell down and then they started getting stomped on. My question is, and then I guess like the people in the front couldn't breathe because they were so jammed packed towards the front, and then the back kept pushing towards to get in, and so it creates this rippling effect to the front and people were getting crushed. So it was a lot of things that I felt like would happen in a crowd because you can't control that, right? And it's like an avalanche, one little snowflake is not going to create a huge problem, but when you get millions, billions of snowflakes, it creates an avalanche. So humans are the same way. You think that you might be strong enough like to push back, but when you have crowds and crowds of people trying to like go even inch, they're not even shoving or whatever, they're just inching forward, and then all it takes is for one person to fall down and for another person to be like, yo, there's a free space, I'm gonna jump in. It's chaos. And the thing is to like think one other guy, like I guess he passed away because his fiance fell down and he tried to pull her out, but he ended up getting stuck.
gosh.
It's like I don't. That's the kind of stuff where I don't know if I feel safe about letting. I mean, I went to one and I was just like, yeah, that's fine. It's too hot. It's too gross. We all stink. You're sweating. Don't touch me. There's glitter everywhere because every single teenage.
Not to mention that we're still in a freaking pandemic. So it's almost
Yes.
like people
Yes.
don't think about these things. Like, no, I'm sure nobody was wearing masks during that time.
I mean, yes, exactly. And I'm just like, why? I mean, did they say how many people were there? Ashley or Katrina? I think you guys might know this better than me, but it was in the upward thousands. Like it was
Yeah, I'm sure of it. It's just a
50,000
lot
or
more.
something.
Yeah, but definitely a lot higher than what's a normal outdoor gathering. That's a valid one. I don't understand why that was able to happen anyways. I thought that was supposed to be. Where was it held?
It was held at Energy Park. So that's another thing in Houston. Okay, so that's another thing. Energy Park in Houston is a very big venue. It is huge, but it also has a lot of open space. So there's not a lot of ways to really contain it, right? So we have another venue here, which is Minute Maid Park, and I feel like it's people were comparing those two. They're just like, well, how come Minute Maid Park? You know, they tend to have like 20,000 people at these events, and it doesn't happen, but Energy does. Well, Energy, it's bigger, but the flow of people can come in, I feel like, easier. At Minute Maid, people can come in and out. However, there's kind of like sections and a little bit more barricades. So it slows the traffic down a little bit. There's like a bottleneck kind of situation where it can slow people down, right? I don't know the full ins and out. However, I do know that festivals do have a huge problem of figuring out the number of security per the amount that go to these events. Like they try to cheap out on that a little bit. Like, you know, you're supposed to have like one security person for every 200-300 people. Well, that doesn't happen. They don't have a lot of like festival crowd control strategy plans that are in place most of the time, which I feel like festivals, like it has always happened like since the 60s, but it recently, you know, in the past decade, because of Instagram and Coachella and all that, it has blown up a little bit more. And I think because it's still fairly new, they don't have the concept of what to put things in place for crowd control. I feel like in the 60s, people were going to these places, but it wasn't as crowded, maybe because they didn't have social media. But now we do have social media. So you're going to be attracting more than just the people in that city. You'll be attracting people from all over the world, which people from all over the world do go, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of chaos. And to be honest, I'm too much of a hermit to want to partake. Yeah. And there's that too.
See, this is just bad. This is bad. Like, that's why it's not appropriate to bring a kid into this. Like, I don't understand where the mind of that parent went.
To rock concerts, the mosh pit gets crazy, but they always help you up if you fall.
Not in this case.
It is not a rock concert, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Katrina. Enjoy lunch.
Bye, Katrina. Yeah, have a great weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, by the time some of our younger kids are growing up, they will be less interested in festivals.
Yeah.
No.
Let's hope.
Also, I'm not a fan of concerts anyways. I think what it is because it's like we have such great like surround sound and Bluetooth and such high def TV that you can actually kind of like feel like you're there. But maybe it's just because I'm an introvert, so maybe that's why it doesn't like really.
I mean, I've been to my fair share of concerts, just not festivals. I feel like I like concerts better because it's more contained and it's inside like a venue versus like festivals are just, I don't know, it's too crazy.
Yeah, there's too much going on. It's like the tickets are not cheap. They're really expensive too. So
right.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic, we have
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Have you been following that?
A little bit. I saw what I read an article about it, and I was just like, wait, what? But then I'm
Yeah.
thinking, like, why is this accident still happening? These are supposed to be like dummy, or not dummy guns, but they are supposed to have blank bullets in there. I don't understand why it still happens. Like, we've had plenty of accidents in the past that's very, very similar to this. It
Yeah.
shouldn't
So I
happen
don't.
again.
Yeah. I was trying to read as to like why they would have one bullet in there, and there was like a whole explanation about it, but I still couldn't understand as to why. But so the girl who gave Alec the gun, she was supposed to be kind of like the gun expert, and she's been on many sets before, and there has been talks of her kind of being a little bit too bravado about it. Not saying that like this is her fault, but the way the stories is spinning is kind of just sounding a little victim blaming for me. But then it also sounds like there's so much negligence on that set. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Is someone didn't do their job and someone got killed, right? Where that happened is like where the truth is in that is, I guess it's up to Alec and the family members of that woman to figure out. But I don't know. Like when I heard it, I was just like, wait, what? I thought it was fake news. Like when someone told me, they're like, yeah, Alec Baldwin shot someone. Like I was like, there's what? What do you mean shot someone like in the movie? Like I thought it was I looked and
so there was that I get that was the accident, and maybe he wasn't at fault. But then there was a whole article which is the one that I read, how he and his reporter had met up with him or bumped into him and his wife. And as he was talking to the reporter, he was very rude to his wife whenever she interjected. He was like, look, I'm the one that's doing the interview, or just something like that, very like flippantly, very mean to her.
Yeah, well, he's never been a likable personality, I feel like, when it comes to interviews, for me personally.
I'm surprised because I honestly didn't think that was his character, because he's in like comedy shows, like I always put him in a good light. But now after knowing that, I'm just like, F this. Like,
yeah.
Who the hell are you?
He's very like, when I see him in interviews, he comes off very chauvinistic. He comes off kind of like very old Hollywood. Look at me, I'm Alec Baldwin, right? Like he's not like Hugh Jackman, who's so fun to watch on interviews, or Gerald Butler, who's also really fun to watch in interviews. So Alec doesn't come off that way. Robert De Niro doesn't come off that way either, even though we love these guys. But I guess what happened was just like someone handed him the gun, and they said that it is I don't know what the phrasing is. It's just like, there's this gun has a bullet in it, right? Like, so then
the safety was supposed to be on, and the safety wasn't on.
I don't get it. Honestly, I feel like there's people who make props that are so good that there's no need to have like a real gun on set. But
right.
I whatever the reasoning is, if that scene for that one gun is going to be the Oscar breaking thing, then I don't know. I don't know why a real gun should be on set. Like, I just don't get it. Like, someone explain
there
it
should
to
be
me.
No. I don't think there should be any reason why a gun, like, there's so many people who can create special effects that's very realistic. It's not necessary to have it.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, I guess I can understand if it's like a crossbow, right? Because it's like a whole gadget thing. But a gun, I can understand a sword even,
I really hope that something like this will change. Like, I just don't understand why it's necessary to do that. But yeah.
I'm just so confused, to be honest. But
he might. I think the latest article I saw, I think he might be charged for something. I don't know. I kind of glanced at it, I didn't read it fully. So yeah. Who knows?
I mean, he's probably not gonna. He might be charged, but I doubt it's gonna be like to the extent of the law, right? Like it's still gonna be. Yeah. So we will see. But it's just weird to me.
We
I'm like,
will
why would that?
see.
Why would like I get it if you need a lion on set, okay, you bring in the real one, you don't make like an animatronic one or whatever.
Mm,
And yeah,
mhm,
so yeah, I get it. But like a gun, that's something that you can
mhm,
make. I don't know.
mhm.
Hollywood is so weird to me.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell
All
me
right,
about it.
Adele.
So she hasn't made music for what? Was it 5 years or 10 years?
The last song I heard was Rolling in Deep. So that was like 2014,
That
15.
can't be.
Yeah, that was the
Anyways, yeah.
last.
So apparently she's still keeping to the theme where she would have an album whenever she is sad. And it always does really well. Like her latest single that came out was very well received, and I believe her new album called 30 is going to be out November 19th. She did sit on it last year because of COVID, but she was like, I can't sit on it anymore. Right, this is a really good album that I really want it to be heard. So yeah, it's coming out soon. But this time it marks her divorce, what she was going through, and how she has said that she was very ashamed of it. That was very public, and that a lot of her private life is made public, which is unfortunate. That's typically the case of like most celebrities. A lot of things can't stay private for a while. What I need everyone to understand is that divorce is very heavy, okay? And it is never, we all feel the same. I feel like especially when I went through it, I felt the shame, like bringing shame to my family. Like I felt it was a very more cultural thing, feeling like a failure. But at the end of the day, is like, do you want this divorce or do you want to stay in a like unhappy marriage? And like for your benefit, for the benefit of your health and your mental health, it's better to just cut your losses and start over, so that this is why I wanted to bring up Adele, is to say, hey, the positive side of divorce, and we get it that it happens, people make mistakes, people go into marriages either too soon or like not thinking thoroughly, but it's never a bad decision to have a divorce, and don't feel ashamed for it. If anything, it's a learning lesson that you take with you, and then you like make sure that either what needs to be learned is applied in the new relationship, and just move on. Like, yeah, I don't want women to have to feel ashamed, or men have to feel ashamed just because, or feel guilty that they need to get out of a marriage, an unhappy marriage at that.
This therapist that I follow, Esther Perel, she talks about like sex and marriage and infidelity and stuff really well. And she explained that people are not monogamous today. We are monogamish, which means that we are monogamous to one partner, and then we end. We are monogamous to another partner, we end, and stuff. And it's because we're living so long. You're supposed to kind of die at 32, right? But we're living so long, and I think
that's
this
true.
This concept of like binding yourself to someone for 60, 70, 80 years is a little, I mean, it's ideal, it's lovely, it's a wonderful story. However, I do think it's hard to actualize, because we change so much as a person in the span of 5 years, 10 years. Like I can look back in 4 years ago, before becoming a mom, I was a completely different person. I feel like I'm healthier now as a mom. Yeah. But like 10 years ago, I was another completely different person. And I don't know what I'm going to be like 10 years later. And I can't say the same thing about Papa Bear. Like, I don't know if his personality 10 years down the road is going to match mine. And I think it will take a very self-aware and self-actualized adult to sit down and be like, look, whatever we're doing here, it's not working. So we can either come to the table and renegotiate what this partnership looks like and how we're going to move forward, or we can be like, yo, this is the perfect ending to this beautiful story that we've built together. I'm willing to, you know, step away, right? And there's no, I don't the shame and the embarrassment comes from this idealized, like, you must be tied to one person for the rest of your life. And honestly, that's ownership. And I don't want to own another person, nor do I want another person to own me, right? To assume that we need to be together for the rest of our lives is assuming that I'm going to be the same for the rest of my life and you're going to be the same, which is not, I mean, what can we guarantee in life? Death, taxes, and change, right? Whether it's for the good or for the bad. So how can I expect to be with you for the rest of my life if I can't guarantee to you that I'm going to be the same person for the rest of my life? You know, and
it's not, like, yeah, for sure. It's not
it's
guaranteed.
unrealistic.
We're not the same. Right. We have to be realistic. We change and grow as humans. Like that's what makes us so, like, just much more complex, you know, as a human being. And I don't expect, you know, Tony to be the same person he is now in 5 years, but we both have said to each other that so long as we are, you know, able to work together, and as we grow and everything, we experience the change and whatnot, that we be able to grow and change accordingly, you know, that we adapt together. So that's more of a teamwork partnership situation, which I find that to be much more the type of relationship that I'm looking for versus what I've had like the last 10 years, you know, like it's just much more of an adult relationship that I've been in a while.
Well, I think like when I look at like myself, you know, okay, so let's say you married someone, right? And you were very into a person who just like went and worked at their 9 to 5, and all of a sudden 5 years down the road, they become an alcoholic and they can't hold a job. Are you forced to still be in that marriage and try to keep making it work? Like, obviously everyone out there is going to be like, no, of course not. You don't need to put up with that. But if it's like if it's a different kind of like a different change that other people are like, oh, you can stick it out. Well, yeah, sure. But for each individual, the change is going to vary in how important it is, right? And that's up to the couple to decide. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be like, oh, at the whiff of like something bad, you need to drop the relationship right away. Obviously, people are not disposable and we should have value in connection. I think that there's always hope, and you can always work on something, but that's what it is. It's work, and it's going to be work on both ends, right? Like, you as a person could put in as much work as you want as part of that partnership, but if that person doesn't want to put in any work, then it's like you have to be able to give yourself the freedom to walk away and said, I did the best that I can with what I had, and that's all he or she has given me to work with, and walk away knowing that you did the best that you can without that shame,
for sure,
right?
I'm not all for, you know, just if there are any type of like errors or mistakes that has happened in a relationship that you just right away, you know, call it quits. No, I do believe in giving second chances. But the fact is, when you give that second chance, you actually give it. There is no blaming the person for their mistakes, bringing back, you know, like past and like and continuously doing that, because you're then just living in the past.
Well, I think that's why let's see. Okay. Like with my ex, you know, we went through marriage counseling and everything. And I told him all this. I don't know if I ever said this publicly, but like I went to all these like group meetings with women who have had their husband go through infidelity. And there was one particular lady that says that, you know, she's been 15 years out on this infidelity thing. And she said, I still can't forgive him. And I sat there and I just thought, do I want to live the next 15 years of my life in this partnership and not be able to forgive my ex? Or do I walk away and just say that, you know, we did the best that we can and be okay with that, you know? And I think like the journey outwards is that like after we went through our divorce and everything, I also realized that the reason why I couldn't forgive him was also because I had like a sense of ego and pride in myself. This like I didn't want to be embarrassed in front of other people, still sticking in a marriage where this man is going to walk out and cheat on me. Like so there was an ego aspect there too, and so it was a sense for me to work on myself, which is a complete other conversation. But it's
See,
so
here's the thing.
complex. Yeah.
Here's the thing. If it was like, have you seen Sex and the City? We just finished Sex and the City, the first movie, because Tony has gone through all the seasons with me, so we had to watch the movie. Did you
Mhm.
watch the first movie?
Yes, that's like years ago.
Years ago, right? So there was a section where what's his name? Oh God, Miranda's
Oh yeah, Steve.
Steve. Like Steve cheated on Miranda, right?
Yep.
But see,
Yep.
here's the thing, like she was able to forgive him because it was a one-time thing, accident,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, even though I don't
Yes.
understand how you can just like it doesn't never just happens, right? Anyways,
Indiscretion, whatever
right.
you
So
call
it's a
it. Yeah.
one-time thing, it wasn't a repeated thing, right?
Mhm.
And so the thing is they had something still substantial to like go back to.
Mhm.
Can you honestly say to yourself, did you have something substantial with your ex that you could have been able to like, okay, well, this was one thing and like go back? Because I feel like maybe you didn't have enough to hold on to.
No, I didn't. It was definitely because it was one of those things where like we had the conversation of if we do this again, your lifestyle needs to change significantly. And it was hard for him to make that change
Right.
because of the industry that he's in. And so
Right.
when you start putting a man's career on the line as far as like your marriage or your career, the dude's always going to choose a career, right? And what am I going to do? Be like, okay, well, let's do this thing again, but this time have it be somewhere else, and then me find out, So it's just one of those things where like you have to have a conversation with yourself when you decide to leave a partnership, and it doesn't even have to be a marriage, like a legit relationship, and I think women, we are always taught to be nice and not speak up, and so if we don't like something in a relationship, we can't complain because it's like, oh well, that person makes X amount of dollars, they gave you this home, this beautiful children, why are you complaining, right?
Yeah.
Well, we can have grievances, and I think that's okay, and I think as women we should be able to talk to each other and be like, okay, so here are your options. Tell me why you are upset, and also support each other and be like, if this isn't working, then you should leave instead of shaming each other for it. If that makes sense. So Tiffany says, I might be a catalyst for change in the UK. You had a football game that people died from and they changed crowd control so it wouldn't happen again. That's really, really good that they do that. And I do know that like, so football in the UK is soccer in the US, and I know the soccer games are very wild. Especially with the way society changes, we also need to change. I agree. To me, as long as the relationship is healthy-ish, it works. That's funny.
Yep.
That's true. Healthy-ish, yeah, for both parties.
Healthy-ish.
Not know you and only you need to change, if that makes sense. Totally, 100%.
Both parties need to be like able to come to the table and forgive each other if that is the trajectory that they want the relationship to go towards, But if there wasn't anything good and like if they didn't have a foundation, like if things start to break down within the marriage and like you didn't do anything in terms of helping like mend it or like validate or all that stuff, and then that discretion happens, it's hard to go back and be like, yeah, we can be strong together and move forward from this.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that's always harder. But yeah, like I don't know, the love has to be there, and I think the willing to want to work together to either go solve the problem and whatnot, like that has to be there together. If not, Yeah, I think like if it's going to be a circle of toxicity within the
Mhm.
marriage and it's a constant like mental drain and all that stuff, then the best way for both of them is to
Yeah.
leave and just try to salvage what is left, and
Left.
just
May it be a
yeah,
friendship after, like,
who
or
knows,
a
but
co-parenting ship afterwards. Like something
right.
still can come out of it. And I think I don't know. I just this whole concept of like shame and after a relationship, it's just so sad. Like that. Here's the one thing that I think my dad taught me really, really well when I was younger. And I remember like I was dating in college and stuff, and I was not dating like the most like up and up dudes. I was just dating to date. And
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
mom would always be like, "How come you don't choose like these like other guys who are going to be med schoolers and blah blah blah?" Right? Well, first of all, I was never taught to believe that I was good enough to deserve a med schooler. So that's on you, mom.
Right.
so but no, but second of all, my dad, like, good on him for coming into my defense. He's just like, how is she going to know what she wants in her life if she doesn't date?
Mm-hmm.
And what is a part of dating? Breaking
Also,
up.
correct, but also you're at the stage where you're just also feeling out people, and who would fit you better. You're
Hmm.
not in there to find the perfect mate so that you could have a future partner with. No, like
Yeah.
at that time, the goals are totally different. You're not there to date to marry. You're there to
Yeah.
just date for fun.
Yeah, and even so, like, and that's what happens is that like I was given an opportunity to date, to know what I want
Mm-hmm.
and what I don't want, and to experience it. So that like when I did choose a partner, I was hoping that I was
Right.
choosing a really good partner, which I thought I
Yeah.
did, right? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It just so happened that like his trauma kind of like manifested a little bit later,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. But
Mm.
I thought I did, right? And it was through that
Mm-hmm.
process of dating. Um, so 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 what happens is that when people don't have that process of dating and they end up in a relationship and they're like, this is the one. I've never knew how to break up with the person because I'm too
Yep.
nice. I think
Mm-hmm.
that this is what I deserve. It's too late in
Mm-hmm.
life now, so they end up married, and then 5-10 years down the road they feel like this is really not the one. And
See,
then it's like,
that's the
what do you
thing.
yeah, what do?
You don't
You
want to,
force them?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, like that's the thing. Like most people stay in unhealthy relationships and unhealthy marriages because one, they either were guilted into marrying the person,
Hmm.
or they felt like that they couldn't do better, or they didn't want to be alone. Like those are the three unfortunately worst reasons to stay in a relationship or an unhappy marriage. Like you should never feel as if you are, feeling guilty or whatnot. Like that's very suffocating to me.
Yeah.
I think you only have one life.
Yep.
So let's like, let's not stay in something that makes you unhappy, first
Yeah,
and
and then
foremost.
and let's say it is good for 5-10 years, whatever, and you down the road you guys are so different, you have different trajectories, and you both sit down like adults, you talk about it, and you're just like, look, I love you enough to release you, and I hope you love me enough to
Release
release
you.
me, so we can go on to two separate journeys, and that could
Correct.
be okay as well. So I don't know, and the whole shame thing with, let's say like my parents or my
Mm-hmm.
friends or whatever. It's one of those things where it's just like, at the end of the day, like anyone can think about all the people that surrounds them when it comes to this relationship, but it's just like who's in the relationship? The
Yeah.
parents, your friends, your cousins, your fifth aunt from wherever. Like, no, you're in the relationship. So
Yeah.
there's that too to consider.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we just went off a tangent, but yeah, Adele and she's always been, from what I can see, a very loving person. Even when she wrote like 25, like it was just all about how much she loved that other person.
Yeah.
Um,
She just has so much love to give, and she just shouldn't feel ashamed. We should not be at this time where we should feel ashamed of either going through a divorce or breaking up or leaving a relationship and things like that. You need to do what's best for you.
and how many times do we see, this is what irks me. Like I know, of a woman personally in my life where like the image on the outside is so perfect, beautiful kids, beautiful children, but like in the background, the husband was constantly like yelling at her, cheating on her. And it's like, because they look so perfect on the outside doesn't mean something is happening on the inside, right? And it's like
And I feel
how
that when that happens, that will probably be the most devastating thing to have to go through, because not only are you having to deal with a broken marriage, if that person were to go through the divorce, whatnot, but then you have to also deal with a broken image.
yes.
You know, like you can't, that is probably the worst to have to like.
And then you have to
deal with.
convince people. You have to convince people that it
And
was
it's not
terrible.
their business.
It's none of their business, because like, and it's the same thing that happened with my ex too, when I, told people that like, look, this is not working. And I didn't want to dive deep into the whole, well, homeboy was cheating on me, I didn't want to say that, because I was like,
Yeah.
I still cared about my partner enough at that time that I didn't want to say that and demolish his image, right? Because I'm still a decent person. So what happened was I had to take on the blame. A lot of them were just like, well, why would you just want to leave someone? He made so much money, blah, blah, blah. He gave you all this stuff. He's so nice. And I'm like, homeboy cheated on me. Like, God.
Money is not everything, okay? Money,
well,
yes, to a point, does not always buy you happiness.
But that's the interesting thing, is that there's also other women who are just like, so he still made so much money. And I was just like, what is wrong? Who did not hug you?
Where are you? I know, right? Where are you from? Like you don't care,
But there are women out there who don't care, and that's fine. And I think that's, if that's something that you truly don't care and you're fine with that, like, hey, more power to you. Do what is best for you. It was not something that I cared to do for my personal life. Like, I didn't want to have to share my sexual partner with a sea of other women. It's just because I just didn't want to, and that was just like me at that point in my life. And now I'm probably like, you know what? You want to go out with A, B, C, and D and come home to me? That's fine too now. Like, I'm too tired to care. But like, it was just that kind of stuff where I can understand why Adele would be ashamed, because it's so public, right? Where it's just like, maybe he looked a certain way and she couldn't come out and be like, you know what it is? It's also the stigma of women leaving the man. That means that, like, why didn't you work harder, lady? Because we always have the onus on us to have to make a marriage work, right? Why didn't you work harder? Why? Even like when I was filing mine, they asked me, they're like, what do you want to put on the divorce? Like infidelity or irreconcilable differences? And I was just like, just put down irreconcilable differences, because I didn't want it to be on record that like, so it's just like, for women, it's always the weight that we have to carry, that we're the one walking out of the marriage when, and even for Adele, like maybe publicly, her ex had a different kind of image and people saw him in a different light. And she obviously didn't want to like spill all the beans as to him, leaving his pubic hairs on the toilet all the time. And it was, like things like that, so it's crazy. And there shouldn't be any shame in it. And it's no one's business as to why a marriage doesn't work out. It's only for you and your partner and the lawyers to work out, to be honest.
Yes.
So let's see. Tiffany says, that was one of the questions I had to ask myself before ending my last relationship. Am I in this to not be alone? And am I truly happy? And that's when I knew I had to walk away. Good for you.
Yeah. Very good.
Good for
very
you.
Good.
I mean, you're...
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead now.
No, I was just saying that, like, when I was actually going through the divorce, and then I had to talk to the worst person that I had to break it to was my dad. And then when I did, like, I actually had to carry my niece with me just so I could have a comfort, like, personal hug while I was breaking the news to him. But
it's like, don't hit me. You have your...
Yeah, right? And the thing that he said after I told him was like, okay, well, move home. I was like, And at the time, I was like mid-30s or when I'm like, I'm over 30. Like, I'm not gonna be coming home and moving back.
Yeah.
Like, no, I am gonna try to live out here on my own, you know. And yeah, it's like it was scary to have to build a lot of things on my own, but it was better than to be in, you know, in a relationship that wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah. That's another thing too about like being an adult and living home. It doesn't make
Mhm.
anyone a failure in any sense. Like you have hardships in your life, and
Yes.
sometimes I think it's better to move home to a place, if home is actually safe, by the way,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
a place where you can get a foundation to start back up again. I see there's nothing wrong with that versus like
Right.
being out
Correct.
there alone and struggling, right?
Yeah.
Mel, though, I mean, she's definitely a scrappy person, so she can like if anyone could be out there alone and quote unquote struggling, like she's
I just didn't want to move back home because it's just one of those where it's like I'm just yeah, like I value my independence and like
Mhm.
I know that it was better like my childhood was very rocky with my parents, so it
Yeah,
was better that I would be apart just because I feel like we would just always butt heads, you know. So I
yeah.
knew that that was never the option. But yes, if you want to move home and to help with finances and all that stuff, there's no shame in that. Absolutely not at all.
Mhm.
Had I my sister moved home after college and she built, you know, she saved enough, she worked and she saved enough that she was able to like pay off a lot of her student loans and all that stuff. And was able to, you know, go off and move to New York with a good base, you know what I mean? For me, like I think if I had a good relationship with my parents, that would probably would have been what I would have done. Like I wouldn't have felt shameful about that.
Mhm.
But yeah, like to me, I just like no, I'm just gonna go out on my own and just struggle and like see what comes out of it.
10 years later, still
I know,
struggling.
10 years later.
um, yeah,
Still
I think
hustling, still hustling.
for me though, I'm the opposite of Mel because I do have a pretty like
Yeah,
good relationship with my parents, even though like
yeah.
we have butt heads in that, but yeah, I don't mind moving home. Like even now, I'm just like, God, please let something happen so I can move back home. You know? It is so good at their place. Like it's, I never have to do laundry. Like every time I visit on Sundays, like, there's always
Mhm.
food. They give me gas money.
Like
Like,
yeah, it's like it's like you don't have to worry about stuff, you know.
yeah, and so I'm still their children, which I am very very grateful to have the parents that I do have. So yeah, I'm the opposite of you. Were like if something happened, I
Mhm.
would move home
Mhm.
immediately and not even like bat an
Yeah.
eyelash. And I've done that. Like even with my last relationship, like I went home and I lived with my parents for a couple months there, and I was totally
Yeah.
fine and I loved it. Um,
Yeah.
so, but there's no shame. And even I even remember when I was dating while I was with my parents, like a bunch of the guys were like, "You're living with your parents." I'm like, "Yeah." Like it was,
What?
but I get it. I get it. It looks in Western culture, it looks like you can't sustain yourself, right? When that's not true. Maybe you just, and in fact, you should have to find. You should be able to find someone who has, to. You should always find someone who has a cordial relationship with their parents to the point where they can feel like they can live with their parents, because that means they're probably emotionally healthy enough that you want to get involved with, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
that too. Ashley was just like, money does not make the marriage. Whoever
Correct.
said that to you need to swift kick in the ass. That is also true.
Mhm.
um,
There's
yeah,
plenty of people I know that need swift kick in the ass.
yeah. I mean, obviously, money does make a marriage easier because you're not fighting over
Yeah.
bills all the time. Sure. Um,
But it's not the
but it's
end all be all. Like, come on, people.
yeah, there's like, I mean, come on, how many Porsches do I need right now to make me even more more happy? Like,
I think maybe just one for me and people I'd be okay.
but have you seen? Okay, so I was looking up a McLaren the other day because I saw someone like showing off on their Instagram driving it, and I was like, dude, that's a cool car, and it was like
Mm.
$200,000.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a home for some people.
Yeah.
Oh, then again, some
Mhm.
people do live in their car by choice too. So I guess if you
You
want to live
can't live in a McLaren. There's no space.
that's right. It's so like, and it's so low.
Hmm.
How
I think it's an accident waiting to happen, but so low.
okay, so this particular person that I was watching on Instagram, there like I ended up on this weird like part of YouTube on what was it? It's more of like because I saw on TikTok and this guy was such a I'm just gonna say his name, Kevin James. I found him on TikTok and he kind of like does this like weird manosphere thing and I was just like, okay, what is this? Let me like dig more into it. And so I was just
Mhm.
like watching some of his stuff and then some of his Instagram and I see he was driving like a McLaren and then a Lamborghini and the Ferrari and all this stuff. And I was like, you can't
What?
be yeah, and then so then I was being snoopy and I looked up his net worth on Google because you can do that, and he's like worth
Mm-hmm.
3 million. Even if you're worth 3 million, you can't afford that many cars like that,
Yeah.
right? Like if you just do the math. And so then I was
Well,
just like,
is he buying it outright or is he leasing the cars? That's two
well,
different
that
things.
I don't think you can lease those cars because they're so exclusive. But now I'm
Oh.
wondering, can you rent them? And so I did look that up, and
Uh-huh.
you
Can
can
you?
for $1,500 a day, you can rent a McLaren.
There you go.
So that goes to show how fake Instagram can be, and don't fall for it. um,
Yeah.
I was just like, there's no way this guy owns these like big, nice luxury cars. Like $3 million is, it sounds like a lot of money, but if you talk
It's
about net
not.
worth, it's really
Yeah.
not that much. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I mean, we
It
sound
just
like
depends on how much assets you have, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
assets and liabilities. So
yeah. Like if you're middle class for all of your
mhm.
life and you have a home, a car, a 401k plan, life insurance, you're
Mhm.
probably worth a mil. You know, um,
Mhm.
Papa Bear is worth 2.5 mil if he's dead. Like I'm just saying. I am just saying his life insurance plan. Oh my gosh, this is going to be
Right.
on record, huh? I'm just saying that his life insurance plan, when we were looking
Yeah.
at it, like if he were to, he's worth, I get 2.5 mil. So I was telling him, I was just like, you are kind of worth more to me dead than alive. But you know
Right.
what? I am thinking long term here. Where like, if you live all the way up to 100, you actually end up making more money. So I get it. But that's another dark topic. So
100
it's
years,
like
he's not going to be working anymore. He's retired by then.
you think so? I think there's some people who just like to work. Like my dad, he should be retiring,
Up
but
to
he's just like,
100? I don't
yeah, he
know.
told me he's just like, I want to keep working. He doesn't like not working.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. There's just some people who like my mom, she doesn't have to work, but she still works. I don't know why,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
Um, and let's see, that's a really nice house here. This one. Yeah, two hundred
Sweet.
thousand dollars is $200,000 is a really
Cars,
nice house.
yeah, it depreciates so fast as soon as you drive it off the lot. What is the point? You
Yeah.
know? Like even when my
Um,
last car died, like I drove that car to like over 200,000 miles and
jeez.
like it was over 10 years old and when it passed away, I was very sad, like cuz that baby went with me throughout like my whole, the time. It was very sentimental to me. So then that after that I was like I don't want to get a car. I'm just going to go, just like use Uber or use the metro and all that. Like I have readily public transportation near me, so I'm not gonna do it. But it wasn't until like my mom heard that I didn't have a car anymore. It's just like, nope, we're gonna have you. Like my sister was moving to California, and so she
Mhm.
sold me her car. And then I
Aw.
was like, I guess I have a car now, which is, yes, it was a lot easier to have a car because it's like waiting for a bus takes like 20-30 minutes. So
Mhm.
anywhere you go, you have to add like 30-40 minutes to travel
Of
time.
commute, yeah. The
Yeah.
only reason why I buy old cars, I'm not spending a house deposit on transport.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's
Very,
insane.
yeah.
Um, it's we bought a Mazda 2 for whoa, that what? For $500? It needs fixing, but
That's
it's the
very
best little
cheap.
fun car and no monthly payments. It's like
I know. I
really
didn't want to
cheap.
do the, yeah. I was tired of I didn't want to do the monthly payments anymore, which is why I didn't get a car until my sister sold hers.
Yeah, that's a Mazda 2. I think Mazda 2s were like the because I think my brother wanted one too, and it was kind of like the Fast and the Furious car, right? Where it was
Really?
during the Fast and the Furious time where all the kids like really wanted little cars so that they can like
Yeah.
soup up or whatever. What's the term? Um,
And Mazda 2 was it.
was it the Mazda 2? Actually, you might have to tell me, correct me. But I remember my brother was looking for like a Mazda. Um, 2012. I mean, my
Yeah.
Honda right now is a 2012. That thing
Yeah.
is not. Wait, you got a Mazda for $500 and it's a 2012? That's like really cheap.
Yeah, right?
That's
That's really
really,
cheap.
really like that. You literally got that thing for free.
Yeah,
It
right?
looks so cheap. I
What
think
are you
so.
doing actually? What are you
Oh,
making?
sorry. I'm making a. I'm trying to make Christmas outfits for Grudy and I.
Oh, cute.
Because I got the top done for her, and I'm just making
Mhm.
her little shorts and her skirt. So this is her little top.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have like a little ruffle skirt at the bottom.
And
if I
then
can.
you guys are gonna be matching.
Yeah, so this is my top right here, and
That
I'm
is
gonna
so
have
cute.
yeah, because now she's into the whole like matching thing. So I'm like super excited.
Aww.
But I have the fabric forever, and I just wanted to make something out of it. But yeah, that's what I was doing.
So
Okay,
talented.
let's see. She said, "Yes, I think so. My husband wanted to make it into a race car. I knew it. Yes. Okay."
That's funny.
It was from my friend's daughter. I don't spend
Oh,
over 800 euros on a car in the UK. Plus, it helps my dad teach me how to fix cars. Yes, that's really good. That's
yeah.
that's good. You need to know how to do like the basic, like oil change and tire
Hmm.
change and things like that. Just good life skills. But yeah, I don't know. So my car is running on almost a decade next year, and that was the first thing that I bought with my YouTube money was that car. I was so proud of it because my
You
old
are
car
going
was like
places.
I was going places and I chose a Honda.
Yeah, you are going places.
Yeah, my biggest
Get a Honda.
yeah, my biggest paycheck from YouTube. I was just like, I'm gonna get myself a Honda. Like everyone else
I
is
do
like now
believe
getting Teslas.
I believe in Honda cars because Acura is part of Honda, and that baby lasted me for more than 10 years and ran very smoothly up till the very end. Um, just things were like just parts of it were like breaking down, but that's over wear and tear. And I ran that car to the ground. Like I drove it
Yeah.
everywhere, you know. So yes, I highly recommend Honda cars because they are very well built.
Yeah, and they their parts are cheaper.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like I because my old car was a GMC, which is it's an American car, and so like the parts in it was definitely that car lasted forever. It lasted for like 20 years because I bought it old as well.
Yeah.
But I do plan on driving this car for another like 10 years. I don't, especially with a toddler who like treats it like a trash can.
Yeah. Wait till
I,
she grows up.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I know people who have like Porsches and BMWs and Teslas right now with like toddlers, and I'm like, how do you guys keep that thing clean? Like, that's amazing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
My friend bought a Honda after her BMW, and that BMW did not last. And she was pissed. She was pissed. She was like, no longer going to buy German cars anymore. She was just like, so she bought a Honda.
yeah, and I know it's like even with BMW, it's so expensive to fix
Hmm.
the parts and stuff. I don't know if I can afford. Well, insurance on those cars are way more expensive, but I can't
Yeah.
afford
Well,
maintenance on it either.
sometimes the label is not all that.
Yeah. I think cars is one of those things where it's like it's a utility and I need it to do what it needs to do.
Same.
You know,
Same.
um,
Yeah.
obviously there's other indulgences that you can have in life, and some people it's cars, some people it's handbags, some people it's power tools. So like teach their own. I think.
Hmm.
So all right, let's run through our list of what we must do for the winter. was the last thing that we're gonna add.
Okay. I just planted tulip bulbs yesterday. Because you're supposed to get them in the ground before the first frost,
Mhm.
and then water it once a week for a month, and then leave it alone until spring, and then you can see the first leaf sprout, and then spring appears. So that was very exciting. And then I'm probably planning to harvest my ginger soon. It's really looking really nice. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of ginger. But yeah, a lot of my like holiday list is like I think for the most part. I don't know yet. Like I do need to make a list for my nieces and nephews for Christmas gifts. That's what I don't think I'm gonna be going home. And then just like just like the normal thing. Go get a tree for Tony and his kids so we can decorate, etc. What about you?
So we decorated our tree already.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So this year, a new thing is that she wanted her own little tree, so we were able to get her a little thing. And
do you buy real trees?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just the old one that we pulled down from the attic.
I have an artificial tree that I've been using every year, and I really like it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't deal with like the needles dying and things like that.
Well, and also, I don't know, just dragging it up 3 flight of stairs, and
yeah,
you know, I don't know. It's too much work. It's fine to have an artificial one, but she did wanted her own little one, so we got that for her. So it's going to be our new little tradition now that she decorated her own little tree. But it's so weird because this is the first time where I actually get to see her personality come out as far as the holidays, because you know she was so young before. So now she was helping decorating the tree. She's grabbing all the decor and like putting it randomly all over the house, and she's just decorating and being super jolly. And Papa Bear was even like, no, I was just like, it's so weird how she's so into this. And he's just like, do you not see where she came out of? Like, you do know who birthed her, right? Which is also true. She and I were very. So it's like I have my own little elf companion, because I'm always the elf when it comes to the holidays, you know. And I'm so tired of all the Grinches.
I know, like I enjoy these holidays that come up because it's just like it is to me a very festive. Like people are always happy. Well, for the most part, you know. Yeah. Like you hear the, I love like the Christmas songs, and you know you hear it. Even before like Halloween it was even over, I'm sure you hear it in the stores, but I haven't really gone to the stores that much to really hear it.
Yeah.
But like if they had more like Thanksgiving songs, I would love it just as much, like leading up to Christmas. But yeah, it's just always so jolly to me. Like I have my own playlist I've had for years, you know, and I play that while decorating, and it's just like it's fun.
Yeah, and you know the twinkly lights and the weather, being able to wear long sleeves finally.
Yeah.
But
we're already wearing long sleeves.
Huh?
We're already wearing long sleeves.
I know. We just started like last week. Well, Halloween was kind of cold, but then it's been weird. But so it's, I think another checklist that we were supposed to do was, she's gonna, hopefully there's a Santa out there. We're gonna have her see Santa for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be realistic
about
Santa not being?
I don't know yet. I guess I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna go with what she gives me, right? Like if she's really into Santa, like who am I to crush her soul? You know,
at what age will you start doing that?
I think I will just wait until she comes to me when she's just like, Mom, I know you're wrapping gifts upstairs. I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, so I'll let her tell me when she's ready.
You want her to discover the truth all on her own versus hearing it from her mama.
No, that's the one thing I am not going. Nope. That's the one thing
Okay.
I'm fine with anyone else doing for
Breaking
me.
into it.
That's not
That's
my
fine.
job. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I mean she could be 40 and think it still exists, and that's on her,
That's
you know.
hilarious.
But yeah, I would have to say I really like the fact that she does believe in Santa, because I have been using it to my advantage, where just like, if you don't pick up
Ah,
your toys, he's not
okay.
coming. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's been such a fun thing to like tangle over.
Evil.
I know. Let's see. Ashley said kids plus cars equal a trash basket. That's all it
Yes.
is to them. It's a giant moving trash can. Stupid question. I have a basil plant in my flower box outside. Do I need to put it in a pot and bring it
Ah,
in? Yes, I know I can look it up,
yes.
but I'm here.
Yeah, no, the basil plant, a lot of the herbs will not stay out in the winter. Like, so you need to put, what is it called? Like, it was 50% water, 50% hydrogen peroxide. You have to prepare it to bring it inside. And then I would like pour that into the soil to kill whatever bugs and things like that. Spray it all over with neem oil, and then bring it inside. Like, wait a day and then bring it inside. But yeah, like, they don't do well outside.
Hmm. Tiffany says I would recommend bringing it in.
Mm.
I left mine outside, hoping it would, but still it died off. It was a mild British winter.
I know, yeah. So bring it inside.
Okay, and then Ashley says, "Thank you. I was scared of it, like getting shocked and replanting it and repotting it, so to speak."
Yeah,
Got it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would probably, if you have like a either grow light or just any light nearby, like a lamp or whatnot, put it on top of it, and it'll grow through the winter. And then when it's nice and spring out, you can take it outside again.
Yeah. I need to be better. I haven't done any real gardening, but also don't have room for that here too. So maybe in a few years. That'd be so nice to have
Yeah.
like fresh herbs and stuff. I'm so jealous of
I
everyone.
know. I'm kind of waiting until February as to when I can reach out to the community, because I plan to get a plot of land, like a garden
Oh,
plot. That's really
oh,
cute. Like, it's part of a
that is
community
cute.
garden. Yeah,
Mhm.
and like the ones that you get, like, it fences off too, so it's like you could
Aw.
grow your stuff and everything. I'm very excited for that because I live in a condo. I don't have garden spaces, but that to me would be like ideal.
How awful would it be if like it is a community garden, you catch someone like constantly trying to like pick at your stuff?
That would be awful. But I hope that it's more of a like sort of a like a friendly, type of people that they won't do that. Like, that's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm just wondering.
I know, right?
I mean, like, I wouldn't put it past myself where I'm just like, I need some basil. And then I look outside, I'm like, ooh, neighbor 4A has some basil. And just go pick one or two leaves, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can always ask, right? You can just like, hey, can I have one or two basil? Here's 50 cents. I don't want to go to the grocery store right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Ooh,
was
I
growing
can't wait to grow
pumpkins.
pumpkins. Yes.
But Theo killed them.
Oh,
Oh
dang.
no.
And apparently,
Oh no.
apparently they grow very well. Like, there's this one TikTok person who like literally threw a mashed pumpkin out in the backyard and didn't think about it for like whatever. And come springtime, he started seeing all these vines come out from the ground, and it grew a whole like width of his yard with pumpkins.
What?
Amazing. Yeah, like, he didn't have to think about it. He just let nature do its thing. It's like so crazy. So yes, I do want to grow pumpkins too.
Oh, I have to be careful because we just took 3 of our Halloween pumpkins and we just kind of
Did you throw it
chucked it.
outside?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna have a
Yeah.
pumpkin patch soon.
Oh, yeah, I think we will. Because I know there are some seeds in there too, and I caught a squirrel eating some of it. So,
Oh,
uh,
I mean, I think your area could grow some nice pumpkins.
I think so because not the HOA part, but the other side where it's a little bit more, um, more not foresty but wild. I feel like
Yeah.
I mean, there's some crazy stuff that grows out on that side of the fence.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that it would probably do really well. So we'll see if I have some pumpkins next year.
Yeah, I know. Let's see next year.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think it's leading up to the end of our stream here. I have to go to Grudy school because I'm volunteering as the snack
Oh.
mom today.
Oh, how fun.
It is fun, but I'm going to find out which kid is the kid that's been bullying my kid, and I'm going to reprimand him.
You do
I
you. You do
Yeah.
your mama biz.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, look. I'm
Look,
scared. No,
Sonny.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. That'll be so
Yeah,
mean.
you
I don't
will.
think I can.
Yeah, you will.
You touch a hair on my kid, I swear to sweet baby Jesus.
I mean, it's that mama instinct in ya.
I know. I don't know how I would handle that though. Knowing like if someone like bullied my kid, like how am I not gonna want to like?
I would see red.
But I think you know what? Like if that ever did happen, I'll probably reach out to the parents first and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know. And
But for the most part, I feel like it's sometimes the parents are the one that raised that double child. So
Yeah.
kind of hard to
Yeah.
speak to the parents if they're gonna, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'll reach out to the parents, see how that goes, and
Very civil.
yeah. But it'll be cute to see some of her friends and her and stuff. But
That would be
So-
cute.
yeah. This is the only time I'm going to be volunteer mom until next semester, I
Yeah.
guess. So it'll be
Aw.
interesting to see her little world there.
Yeah. Well, have fun. Thanks everyone for joining us. I know it's been a while. I think we talked about doing it instead of weekly, possibly do it bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because it's holiday season, and then I also have
Yeah.
school now.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
I'll probably do that bi-weekly. So we'll let you guys know. It won't be next week.
So
It
the
might be the
following week is actually Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. So we should probably do next week and then skip Thanksgiving week and then go from there.
Okay. Yeah,
What do you think?
that would
Okay.
be good for me.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Sounds
right, you
good.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye.